everything keeps going downhill for the live-action Cowboy Bebop, as it won't be a straight remake, apparently. Also, the actress's Faye has come out and decided to attack fans, which has already not ended well for her. And then, of course, the Access Media, because they can never get enough of attacking the fans, as always, which is absolutely ridiculous. Here we go again. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. We have a lot to cover with this entire situation. There has been a lot going on over the weekend, and Jesus, this situation just continues to heat up. First off with this being that, well, don't expect Netflix's live-action Cowboy Bebop to be a straight remake. Star John Cho knows you can't beat the original anime. You can only do something a little different. Then here's my question: why do it at all? All right. We have to have that cash grab, right? You know, that's what it is. It's nothing but a cash grab. As I've been saying, this is nothing more than just hey, let's make money off of it because Cowboy Bebop is an extremely popular IP. I mean, that's what they're doing here. And now, of course, you know, with them saying that, oh, if you can't beat the original anime, then do something different. Well, what this basically is saying is, oh, hey, let's insert our Western agendas, and let's try to make it way worse than the original, because that's exactly what's going on here. You know exactly what's going on here. It's all for them to push an agenda. They're not going to respect the source material. We already knew this from the beginning, and you know, we knew this was going to be a bad idea. You know, like, the moment we heard live action for an anime of any kind, including Cowboy Bebop, you know it's going to be bad. Unless it's Alita, because Alita Battle Angel was good. But then, of course, comes to this, you know they're going to screw it up. The original Cowboy Bebop is pretty much perfect. Yeah, I can agree to that. There's a reason it has amassed legions of fans since it debuted back in 1997. Well, several reasons. It's got instantly likable, compelling characters, it's action-packed, but also incredibly accessible sci-fi. It absolutely oozes coolness thanks to the greatest score in anime history, courtesy of Yoko Kanno. I mean, Tank. That is such a good opening. Like, let's be real, Tank is good. John Cho, star of the live-action Cowboy Bebop TV series, knows the problem with perfection. You can't duplicate it, and you shouldn't either. Then why do it? You know, like, I can't really find a reason for this show to actually exist. You have the anime, which everybody adores. You know, people love it. It's a classic. Like, you know, like I said, I highly recommend the series to those who haven't watched it. If you've, you know, watched my videos, if you've never really gotten into anime, that's one you could start off with. That, or, you know, you could also do Outlaw Star. That's another great one. But this series is fantastic. You know, why make this then? You see my point? Like, you know, if you can't duplicate it, then why do it? Cho refused to sign onto the series until he learned that the live-action Cowboy Bebop show wasn't going to be a shot-for-shot remake of the anime. Why do it? I'm going to keep saying this. In an interview with Vulture, Cho explained the issue. I was like, we're not gonna just remake each episode, are we? I didn't want to restage everything exactly frame by frame. I didn't want to do that artistically. And I also thought that that was a recipe for encouraging unflattering comparisons. How could you do it better? You can't. You have to do something a little different. Like I said, then, you know, like, there's no reason for this to exist. Basically what this is just going to be is, this is going to piss fans off. You know, what this is going to be is, this is going to be basically a westernized Cowboy Bebop, where they're going to push in their sensibilities, identity politics, you know, whatever else they can, because you got to remember, Netflix is now woke flicks. I mean, that's what it is. It's woke flicks. And, you know, they try to push whatever they can, rather than try to tell a good story. So, you know this is not going to be as good. You know the original Cowboy Bebop is always going to be the superior version. You know, and this is going to be a trash fire. And most anime adaptations are terrible. Dragon Ball Evolution, you know, the woke flicks version of Death Note. You know, I guess Alita is the only one that stands as, at least in my mind, as a really good one. You know, it's because it was so close to the source material, and it stayed very true to what it was. It was actually very good. I definitely liked that movie. But basically anything else that I can really think of off the top of my head has done poorly as a live-action anime adaptation. I mean, It's never really resulted too well. He's absolutely right. Duplication invites comparison, and if the new show was just going to try to copy Bebop exclusively, it would just be a poor version of the original. It needs to honor what made the animated series great. The characters, the premise, the tone, while still having its own unique identity. Some changed storylines or even new storylines are fine. Some new, less absurd, more practical, and yet still quite sexy outfit changes are less consequential. You know what this is about. This is about the Faye Valentine, costume change. Despite what some misogynist anime fans might think. See, a jab at the fans because they can't help themselves. They always have to go after the fans every single time. And yet again, they just can't help themselves. They take every opportunity they can to attack the fans, which in turn, what this does is this makes the fans less interested than they already were before. And boy, were they not interested in this beforehand. So you're just making it worse for yourself, and you're making it worse for Netflix when you attack fans, especially when Netflix does it, in which we'll get to that in a moment, because Netflix, they kind of did some stuff here recently also. One big change is that Cho is 49, while the character Spike Spiegel is 27 in the anime. Now, I've heard some people have some issues with that as well, that they were like, oh, well, he looks too old to be Spike, in which, yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm not saying that he's a bad actor, he's not. John Cho's not bad, but, I mean, they kind of have a point. That's a large age difference, and a meaningful change for the series, but one that Cho thinks helps him play Spike more accurately. First of all, I couldn't have done the role when I was 27. I mean, maybe I would have been better suited athletically, but in terms of my discipline, I am strangely better suited at this age. There are plenty of 27-year-olds that have a lot of discipline that could do it. In fact, there are plenty of people who are even younger than 27 that are very disciplined that could probably do it. I mean, like, what does he mean that, he's better at that age than he would be at 27? Like, that doesn't make much sense to me. But here's the thing. My point to all this is that it's kind of funny that they're saying that, this is going to be basically its own thing. It's not going to be faithful as a remake, right? Well, if you go all the way back to June of last year, June 4th, this article by Nichiban tells a different story. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what could it possibly be telling us here? Now, we knew that just by this article alone, that this live-action remake was going to be a disaster. But here's something funny. So, I want you to take a look at this. During an interview with Gizmodo, Grillo Marzach, okay, I'm sure I butchered that. I do apologize if I did. Which is the executive producer, said something very different from John Cho last year in this article by Nichiban. So this is what the article continues to say. How the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop would be faithful to the original anime. Oh, So John Cho says it's not, gonna be faithful. Now, but back last year, the executive producer and writer said otherwise. Well, now, isn't that something? The new series is meant to add canon. What is there to add? I mean, the 26 episodes in the anime had everything. What is there to add? Rather than try to replace the anime series, with the executive producer saying, we don't want the fans of the show to look at it and say that we failed them or failed the original. Oh, you already have. You already have. And, it doesn't stop there. Because this is where it gets more concerning. Cowboy Bebop's creator wants fans to know one thing about its live-action series. Now, keep in mind something. When you were to make a deal with Hollywood, what they'll do is they'll take your series, and until the contract's up, they can do whatever they want with it, and you get no say. That's not a good thing. And get ready to see what the creator has to say here. The conversation via CutaQuest dates back to 2019 when the news was first shared of Netflix's live-action plan. It didn't take long for Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Watanabe to be asked about the whole ordeal. It was there the artist said he read the concept of Netflix's plan and gave notes, but he was not sure whether his suggestions would be used. That's not a good sign. This is what he says. That's right. I read the initial concept and provided my opinions, but I'm not sure if they will be reflected in the final product, Watanabe said. Well, you know what that means? Well, they're going to drive it off a cliff because This means that they're just going to ignore what he had given them. They basically took his notes, which this is what they'll do. They'll take your notes and they'll just basically throw it in the trash and be like, I'm sorry, it doesn't fit today's standards. And you think, oh God. Like, oh no, this is going to be a dumpster fire. And everybody knew this was Netflix, so, you know, what flicks in action is going to make this bad? Continuing, the creator said he would have a soured view of the live-action romp should it ignore his notes, but in the end, Watanabe made sure to stress he has no power in impacting or stopping the production. It all comes down to Sunrise, the studio that produced Cowboy Bebop back in the day. Yeah, and look, problem is, it's going to keep going through because, like I said, this is just to make money. That's all. And seeing that the creator has no power here, this isn't good. I have no choice but to pray and hope that it will turn out good. Ooh, that means that he probably knows things that are not good, but he can't say anything, probably maybe under a contract. That's not a good sign. That just means that the ship is about to sink. Like, that's not a good sign. Also, for Cowboy Bebop, I don't have any right to stop it. Those rights are in the hands of Sunrise, so if you have a complaint, please send it to them. I mean, this sounds like it's going to be a complete disaster, and I think everybody's really expecting that.
But wait! There's more!
Oh, but it doesn't end there, because don't forget what happened over the weekend. As of the recording of this video, you know, Daniela Pineda started going after fans, you know, and then, of course, the NPC Media, oh, they were all over. They were bashing fans as well. You know, we've seen a little bit of that already, and God, it's just getting crazier and crazier. And when you do stuff like this, here's another thing. Just keep in mind, this is more reason for people to push away from this or just hate watch it. Like, this is not going to make people excited. This is going to turn more people off to it. Now, Daniel Pineda, the actress who's going to be playing as Faye. Now, like I said, you know, I've said this multiple times, don't contact any of these people, you know, leave them alone. You know, don't bother them, you know, don't message them. But with what she was doing, was she has a comment, I guess because, like, I had heard where people were going after her for how she looked and everything. And like I said, it's nothing against the actress. You know, the design of Faye, because that's where the problems really kind of come from, is the design. Which, yeah, I don't really like this design, because I feel like it doesn't feel like Faye to me. To me, this feels like some kind of cyberpunk design. It doesn't feel like Faye Valentine. And, you know, when you don't get things accurate, well, people are going to have an issue with it, and understandably so. And, you know, Daniela Pineda had a video basically going after fans on this, because it was the way she went about this. You know, she didn't really have to say anything at all. You know, but this is what she did, and you can tell her rolling her eyes here. It tells you everything about how she put it. You can definitely tell that this was not a good way to put it. And you see this from all the Hollywood types. So, this is what she said. In the video, Pineda begins, "Hey guys, as you know, our Cowboy Bebop first look dropped today," which was actually just photos. But, okay. Which was so exciting, and I just wanted to address a couple of things that keep coming up in the comments amongst fans. She then proceeded to sarcastically deride critics of the first look, saying, "First, I wanted to apologize to the fans that I did not anatomically watch the Faye Valentine character. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. You know, they looked everywhere for that woman and they couldn't find her. It was kind of weird, so they just went with my short ass. I know, am I right?" See right there, obviously trying to make fun of it. If you know Faye Valentine, you'll know that she was 5'6". Okay, she was not 6 foot. Oh, God, every time. And, you know, she didn't have a 2-inch waist, but, you know, you know how these people are whenever they can't take criticism. They get attacked. And like I said, it was nothing against the actress. But now she started basically going after fans at this. There was talk about, like, can we put Daniela in a time machine and maybe give her different parents so she has different genetic information to sort of make her look better? It proved to be too complicated, Pineda added. I mean, you look at her, she doesn't look bad as a person. Like I said, nothing against the actress, you know, but this is how you start angering your fans further. This does not give her a good look. Panita then addressed criticism of the outfit. The other thing I wanted to bring up was I wanted to apologize that the outfit I'm wearing is not exactly what she wears in the anime. You know, we tried doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappear, they rip, sometimes it just got lost. Panita then claimed anyway, like I was saying, the original costume, they made a couple of them. But like I said, they sort of got slurped up in my various crevices never to be retrieved again. So we really needed to build something that could withstand the test of time. Oh god, yeah, that, like, look, this is just being, like, rude for no reason. Like, as I said, to my knowledge, I don't know of anybody who was attacking her directly, but if there were people that were, I mean, that didn't really need to happen. It wasn't her fault for the costume. That's up to Netflix, obviously. You know, but, like, she didn't need to get attacked if she did, if there were people doing that. But still, the point is that she goes on about all this. She goes on talking about this. Here's something I want to bring up also, because, for one, she just made herself look like the bad guy here. You know, she didn't have to do this. And the way she came off here, it was just being terrible towards the fans, attacking the fans. You don't do that. You make things worse. And, you know, that definitely is not going to get people more interested in this series. And, you know, with this tweet here, really proves something. That, yes, there have been cosplayers who have really done very well with the Faye Valentine costume. And, you know, of course, Netflix was never going to do this, though, because, you know, Netflix. You know, they're going to take things, they're going to be like, oh, this is an attractive woman like this. Oh, no, we can't have this. We can't do it. You know, they were probably freaking out and being like, oh, we got to censor it. We got to cover her up. But here's the funny thing. Well, you see how this works. Well, what do we have here? Dr. President-elect Tizok had a good point because she made the statement she couldn't move around, right? Stating you can't move around and act in an outfit like that. I love this. Meanwhile, literally her in another movie.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
she got hit hard with this one because she was wearing something like this right here and saying, oh, can't move around and stuff like that. Well, you know, look at this. You know, like, you know, she got called out on that one, proving, you know, her hypocrisy, saying she couldn't move around and stuff like that. What's she wearing here in another movie? You know what I mean? So there's the hypocrisy from her right there. And look at this, saying that people can't move around like that. Well, this was a good tweet, also from Dr. President-elect Tizok. Obligatory. Wow, this is blowing up. Have some pro wrestler outfits. Very unfortunate. They just completely fell apart like tissue paper during action. And as you can see what they look like here, you know, they're wearing just as much as what Faye would wear. And they're able to wrestle and do what they can do. See, basically it was just an excuse. Because, you know, Netflix didn't try to make this outfit. There's no way that they did. You know, what Netflix basically did was they were just like, oh, well, we're going to cover her up. Yeah, that's basically what it was. So, this whole not being able to wear that, no, that's not true. But, you know, I was going to make another video on this. I decided to put two videos into one here because this came out. Netflix responds to Cowboy Bebop and Faye Valentine backlash. Okay, so we already know about what Daniela Pineda had said, her clapping back and attacking fans, which that doesn't make anything any better. Well, this tweet right here from Netflix Geeked stated, just some Daniela Pineda to bless your timeline with the original Faye outfit on, you know, the t-shirt here. Now look, like I said, she could be Faye Valentine as an actress. I mean, fine. You know, like, she doesn't have to exactly look the part entirely, like 100%, because I don't think anybody expected that to be 100%. But when you have Netflix doing this, you know, going after fans and being like, Daniel Pineda is Faye Valentine. With Netflix doing this, attacking the fans, well, they're just driving more people away. They're not getting them to be like, hey, look, I'm going to watch a show. No, they're making them more like, hey, look, I'm going to just walk away. I don't care about this. This is a severe problem because you want to have your audience come in there. But more attacks and going after fans, that's just going to turn them off more. You know, I mean, some people may come in and hate watch it. But, you know, this is kind of like what they did with Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe, you know, like, you know, they said that they liked the issues that were being created from it. You know, it was ridiculous. And look, Japan themselves, they don't like this. And I go back to this because, you know, Japanese viewers, you know, they had a voting tier. And what they said, you know, basically is what I agree with here on this. Because they say, you know, they don't want anime and Hollywood to mix. And for good reason. Because, you know, you got woke Hollywood today. They're going to push their, you know, agendas. They're going to push their identity politics, anything else that they can. And the first place, if you look here, first place was none. They don't want any anime to be turned into your live action from Hollywood. They don't want it. I mean, and when you look at anime fans, it's not even just Japanese fans. You look at anime fans all around that are like, hey, look, don't do live action. You probably shouldn't do it because if you look at majority of them, yeah, people don't like it, and Netflix is never going to end well because people do not enjoy the live action stuff for the most part unless it's like Alita. You know, like, but you look at this, you look at Netflix. Netflix is in a lot of trouble because, you know, you have the streaming wars going on. You have all these other platforms taking all the stuff that people watched on Netflix. So Netflix now has to make their own shows. So they're taking IPs from the 80s and the 90s and they're ruining them. And now you're getting stuff like Cowboy Bebop. And, you know, one thing that's worrisome to me, if you noticed, there is no Ed. Considering that Ed is not to be seen in any of the images, they're probably going to do something in terms of like identity politics with Ed. They're probably going to be like, oh, well, she's non-binary now. When Ed is confirmed in the anime, you know, a few times that she's actually a girl. So, yeah, this isn't looking good. And I'm just going to say it. As I said before, I'll say it again. Just stick to the anime. You know, you're better off just watching the anime because the anime has everything you could possibly want out of the whole story. But just stick to the anime. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here. And make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. The links are in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.